It's Thursday, July 2nd, and this is Now on HNN.
I think we're going to have modifications for the rest of the year to some extent.
This just in, the school superintendent announces reopening plans for Hawaii's public schools.
HFD's been busy battling a large brush fire on the west side. The public urged to stay clear of the area.
And it's opening up far faster than anybody thought even possible.
U.S. unemployment falls to 11%, but new shutdowns are underway, and some 11,000 people in Hawaii still haven't gotten unemployment payments.
It's a nightmare. It's a total nightmare.
These stories, plus we'll talk to the UH researcher joining the global effort to find a cure for COVID-19.
UH has facilities which are very safe.
Coming up on This Is Now. Good afternoon. Thank you for watching This Is Now. I'm Jonathan, your director producer, alongside Ashley. We've got to report another uptick in numbers today of coronavirus cases. It's coming from the Department of Health.
Hey everyone, health officials are reporting 20 new COVID-19 cases today. We're told 17 of them are patients on Oahu, and 6 of the Oahu cases are tied to a cluster from a Hawaiian Airlines flight attendant training session. The remaining 3 cases are on the Big Island. That brings the statewide total to 946. Close to 80% of those patients have been released from isolation. Meanwhile, the state education department just a short time ago announced its reopening plans for the upcoming school year. Here's school superintendent Christina Kishimoto.
All of our schools are not designed in the same way. Our physical structure looks different. Our classroom sizes look different. You can see even in this classroom, we've already spaced out the tables, the desks for the kids all facing forward. The principals are making a decision. Do they have enough space to socially distance by at least 6 feet and be able to space out kids safely and have all the kids back? So that's choice 1. The second choice is a blended instruction, some time at school, some time learning from home. And the third option is really this mix between blended and distance learning, where a larger number of students are learning from home.
Public schools will reopen August 4th using face-to-face instruction, remote learning, or a combination of the two. Like Dr. Kishimoto said, principals are meeting with their teachers and staff members now to discuss which model works for them. Schools will then inform parents of their decision. Now, the state is committed to offering the standard 180 instructional days over the course of the school year. A priority for face-to-face learning will be given to students in K through 2nd grade and as well as vulnerable students. More developing news. Firefighters continue to battle a brush fire in Waianae that triggered evacuations early this morning and has burned more than 200 acres so far. 5 homes in the area were evacuated just after 2 a.m., but families were allowed to return several hours later. Firefighters remain in the area battling flames above Waianae Valley Road, and HPD says a non-HFD drone has been flying around the area of operations, and officials want to remind the public that that is not allowed.
All right, and I shot these images on my way to work today. HPD still trying to figure out what happened here. You can see a high-rise window busted out there at Century Square downtown at Bishop and Beretania. Was creating quite the scene for pedestrians trying to get through this morning. But again, they're still working to figure out what exactly happened. We have calls out to the manager of the building as well, awaiting his return phone call as well. Ashley, what else we got going on?
So nationally, better than expected, 4.8 million jobs were added last month, and the unemployment rate dropped from 13.3% to 11.1%. Here at home, some who lost their jobs are still waiting for aid from the government. Here's Chelsea Davis with more.
Let's see how she filed this report last night in our 10 o'clock news.
93% of valid unemployment claims have been paid out since the beginning of the pandemic, but more than 11,000 people are still waiting, and many can't wait much longer.
I don't receive any single money yet.
Gabriel Saldana Costa is a server at Paia Fish Market in Waikiki. He was laid off on March 20th and has yet to receive any unemployment benefits. On the website, it says he will be paid in 3 business days. That was 13 days ago. He's back at his job, but working reduced hours. Even now, he's relying on others for money, but he says their kindness has run out.
I owe money. I keep telling them, oh, I'm gonna get paid, but I just don't have that money on my account, so it's very hard.
The State Department of Labor and Industrial Relations said last week 93% of claims have been paid off, totaling $1.7 billion. More than 11,000 people are still waiting. The governor defended the department.
We have taken the number of backlog cases from more than 60,000. We are really down to those that have not received compensation. It's the most complex cases.
Over on the Big Island, fisherman Keith Steele is still waiting for a check. He calls 500 times a day and has never gotten through.
We are struggling, and if this doesn't, if they don't start answering the phone and kicking our unemployment to us that we work for and that we deserve, we're going to start defaulting on a lot of our bills that we have, payments that we have, and our loans that we have, and it's actually going to get worse.
As those bills pile up, these two men are hoping their messages are heard.
We totally need that money.
Governor Ige, please set us up and get these unemployment officers to call us and answer the phones.
For those who are receiving benefits, the extra $600 will end this month. The state legislature is discussing a plan to continue extra benefits. Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
We did hear from the president this morning. He is celebrating those latest unemployment numbers, but there are concerns about the job market.
We've done a historic thing. We would have lost millions of lives. And now we're opening it up, and it's opening up far faster than anybody thought even possible, and more successfully.
We told you that despite criticism, UH researchers will be importing the COVID-19 virus to Hawaii to join the global effort in finding a cure. We spoke to Dr. Vivek Nurikar from the medical school about how he and his team plan to study the virus.
All right, Dr. Nurikar, so talk about the timeline of UH receiving the virus. When is that going to happen?
I believe between 2 to 3 weeks from now.
How do you and your team plan to study it?
UH has facilities which are very safe and sound and secured to do such kind of a research. And once the virus is open in there, we do all the manipulation and handling of the virus. So once we have this virus in here, we will create virus stocks. We'll multiply the virus, by infecting some cells, specifically viral cells, and make virus stocks. And then when we had actually ready to do the experiments, we will use those virus stocks in very small dilutions to test for neutralization assays.
There are critics who are against importing the virus to Hawaii, but talk about why you believe that the benefits of UH studying the virus outweigh the risks.
We have researchers here at UH who are world-class researchers working on Ebola, Zika, West Nile, and we have vaccines for one of those. UH has the great facilities, and we need to be using those facilities for the state for doing this kind of a research. It's important that we promote local research and give our local researchers resources to do that.
There have been debates in other states about possible human trials. What are your thoughts on that?
That's not out of the world thinking. There are already dengue and malaria human trials going on at NIH and around the country. I can tell you that if that kind of a trial is out there, you will get enrollment. You will get enrollment. It's not something which people are not going to. People in the United States are ready to sacrifice to get this kind of a work in there. That doesn't mean that they're going to die in that trial. They might get sick as usual, and that's what we want, and see whether the vaccine works or not. So I will not be surprised at all that you will have people lined up at the door.
Dr. Nurikar, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us today.
Thank you very much for having me.
Mandatory temperature checks start today for city bus drivers. Oahu Transit Services told workers that if they have a temperature higher than 100.3 degrees, they'll be sent home. Drivers can be tested for COVID-19 starting tomorrow. The new measures come after a bus driver diagnosed with COVID-19 went to work sick for 5 days. He and another bus worker are now in quarantine.
Hawaii County is closing public access to Waipio Valley to prevent large gatherings this 4th of July weekend. The Department of Public Works says access will be closed from 7 a.m. Friday, July 3rd through Monday, July 6th. Special duty officers and rangers will be on site at the top of the road to ensure only local traffic, which means valley residents, landowners, and farmers pass through. Officials say the closure is also happening because the county lacks resources to enforce safe physical distancing practices.
Take a look at these images. Custom agents intercepted $250,000 worth of cocaine in Honolulu, hiding inside 3 aluminum blocks labeled as machinery tools. These shipments were headed from Mexico to Australia. Authorities say they found 21 pounds of cocaine hidden inside. They say it isn't actually that rare. So far, there have been no arrests.
The FBI has arrested a woman accused of helping Jeffrey Epstein recruit young girls for sexual abuse. She is Ghislaine Maxwell, a British socialite. Epstein, who made hundreds of millions of dollars as a financier, killed himself in a jail cell last year. At the time, he was awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking charges. Many in the world of politics say Hawaii native and Illinois Senator Tammy Duckworth is being vetted to be Joe Biden's running mate. Lacey Denise has more.
The Illinois senator and UH grad is reportedly on a short list of candidates for Joe Biden's running mate. Democratic strategists say Duckworth's political qualities line up well with Biden's. Duckworth, who's also an Iraq War veteran, is one of 7 or 8 candidates who have submitted records and interviewed with campaign staff, according to various reports. Her political mentor, Illinois U.S. Senator Dick Durbin, says her new autobiography helped to land her a spot on the list. In it, Duckworth talks about her personal story from living in poverty to losing her legs in a combat helicopter crash. And this is something that Senator Durbin believes the American people will be, quote, stunned to hear the details about. A recent poll by the New York Times shows Duckworth is unknown by about 72% of voters. That compared to some of the other names on the list, including former presidential candidates Kamala Harris and Elizabeth Warren. For This Is Now, I'm Lacey Denise.
Former presidential candidate Herman Cain is in the hospital with COVID-19. He reportedly attended President Trump's recent rally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. He was not seen wearing a face mask in a photo posted to his Twitter account. At this point, it's not clear if he had contact with the president at the event.
The ledge is back in session. Right now, we got Casey Lund at the state capitol with what lawmakers are working on besides the pandemic response.
We've been talking about so much legislation as it relates to the pandemic and things moving forward with the CARES Act, education, reopening the state's economy. But in the midst of all that, there are a number of important issues that are at risk of being lost in the weeds, sort of, as we move forward. And the legislature is set to adjourn on July 10th. One of those is Senate Bill 2523, which is a measure that would block the Public Safety Department for ending a very important program. I want to introduce Senator from Maui, Roz Baker, with me to tell us a little bit more about the Fernhurst program and what's at stake if that goes away. Senator?
The Fernhurst program is a very unique program addressing the specific needs of women inmates. It is culturally sensitive, it is gender informed, and trauma informed, and gender responsive. So it really looks at the specific needs of women inmates and trying to help reintegrate them and get them back into society when they fulfill their sentence and obligation to the state. And it's been very, very successful. To incarcerate a woman in the traditional sense costs an average of $198. To have this person in Fernhurst and actually be on the road to be reintegrated into society is $120 a day. So it's a very cost-effective and a very effective program.
When we talk about, this awakening that we're seeing across the country with our systems of policing and incarceration, why would the Public Safety Department, if everything that you laid out, it's more cost-effective and more effective, why do you suppose they would want to end this program?
You're asking me to get inside the director's brain, and I cannot do that because on every account, it makes no sense. The program has been effective. The women inmates are treated respectfully. They learn a skill if they need that when they're in Fernhurst, and they get reintegrated back into the community with their families. And it just doesn't make any sense that you would want to, in a time of some physical constraint, to go and put women back into a more expensive program that doesn't have good outcomes like the Fernhurst program
Really
has.
quickly, we only have a couple seconds left. How can people learn more about this and write to their leaders about keeping it, or is it too late for that?
No, it's never too late for that. The bill, if passes, will protect the program, but I think the Director of Public Safety, Nolan Espenda, needs to hear from it, and of course the Governor. We've met with the Governor, we've taken our letters from the House and Senate to the Governor to ask him to intervene, and it would be great if people could support us with messages to the Governor and to the Director of Public Safety.
Senator Rosbaker, thank you so much for being with us this
Thank
morning.
you.
I know
My
you guys
pleasure.
have a full plate and a lot of important things to do as the legislature is set to adjourn again on July 10th. Whether or not that will happen then is yet to be seen.
Hawaiian Airlines is betting on a quick reboot to island tourism, restoring a lot more routes. Howard Dykes has the latest.
Hawaiian has been flying once a day from LAX, SFO, and SeaTac, and just this week it added Portland. Later this month it starts flying again from San Diego and Sacramento, but now Hawaiian says in August it will restart a bunch more mainland routes, including San Jose, Oakland, Phoenix, New York, Boston, even Vegas. Neighbor islands will get some direct flights from LAX and the San Francisco Bay Area. Inter-island service will go up as well, and Pongo Pongo will relaunch in August. All told, Hawaiian plans in August to jump to 252 mainland flights a week, plus 114 daily inter-island flights. A Young Brothers customer disputes a key assertion the shipping line made to the PUC. Young Brothers President Jay Anna told regulators there have been no major problems from reducing its Hilo sailing schedule. Farmers beg to disagree. Hamakua Mushrooms GM Dustin Real says it's inaccurate. COVID cut business 50%, he said, and then his ability to ship product was constrained by the cutbacks made by Young Brothers. In other news, a fast food company files for bankruptcy. NPC operates 1,200 Pizza Huts and 400 Wendy's. It has 40,000 workers in 27 states. Apple closes 30 stores it just reopened as COVID rekindles. Half the closures are in Southern California, but all the COVID spike states are affected to one degree or another. Why was Russia willing to endure cheap prices for its oil? Oilprice.com reports 20 bankruptcies this year by U.S. energy companies, mostly shale producers.
All right, thanks, Howard, for that report. Hey, guys, who's ready for this holiday weekend?
I am.
I am. Seriously. It's 82 degrees out there right now. What will the weekend look like? Here's Guy Hoggy.
How's it on this Thursday? I'm Guy Hoggy with your Hawaii News Now weather forecast. Upstream moisture is minimal. There are some clouds moving into those windward areas, so we are seeing a few minor splashes this morning. Leeward sides will remain mostly dry, at least through today. We're expecting a few more showers by tomorrow. And those trade winds will run at breezy levels today, already picking up in double digits for some areas. Kona, the outlier. Kona is going to have light variable winds. They will be hot and sticky. Temperatures again will be soaring. Yesterday, Kahului tied their record for the day at 92. They could likely exceed 89. They could be up into the 90s again today. All in all, it's going to be a warm day, sunny day with lots of sunshine for the leeward areas especially. And those trade winds will run at breezy levels, but they'll back off by tomorrow. And out in the ocean, we've got a minor boost coming into the south and east shores. A little bit of a wrap down on the west side. Nothing big, but at least we got some slightly overhead sets at the better spots today. It's going to back off by tomorrow. And with the full moon approaching, we've got extreme swings in the tide. Very low this morning, going very high this afternoon. So we're in for a nice stretch of beautiful weather. Granted, it's going to be a little bit more damp tomorrow with a few more windward and Mauka showers all the way through Saturday with lighter winds. Now, drier conditions with stronger winds come in the first part of next week. Keep it here in Hawaii News Now. We'll have all the details on air and online.
Thank you very much, Guy. Hey, let's see what the internet's talking about right now. It's time to check out the feeds. Alright, did you know it's another one of those holidays, UFO Day?
Okay.
Yep, today's the day the UFO community comes together and sort of talks and celebrates their beliefs. People can recognize the day by watching their favorite UFO or alien movie and chatting with friends about the possibility of little green men.
Little Green Men.
Yeah. What's your favorite UFO alien movie?
Oh, E.T.
Oh, good
Sure,
one.
yeah.
Good
What about
one.
you?
90s Child, I would have to say Independence
Oh,
Day.
yes.
Yeah, it's
Will
a good
Smith.
one. Definitely. What you got for us, Ash?
So Max Holloway will try to reclaim his featherweight championship title in Abu Dhabi next week.
Wow.
The Waianae native will appear as the co-main event at what the UFC is calling Fight Island.
Training for this fight been crazy. It's been adapting for sure. You know, a lot of people they say they're real fighters, but we're going to see who actually is the real fighters now. You know, I couldn't even see my coaches until right now. I never seen none of the coaches. The best thing we did was Zoom classes. So.
Holloway is up against Alexander Volkanovski. They'll be the first to fight in the new facility built just for this event on Yas Island. Everyone involved is being tested and isolated for the virus. We'll find out if Holloway gets his belt back on July 11th on ESPN pay-per-view.
Exciting stuff.
Yeah, and it's the 31st year that a resort on the Big Island will release Hawaiian green sea turtles on Independence Day. Jim Mendoza introduces us to the man who oversees the Malama Honu project.
I am the manager of the Aloha Aina Natural Resource Department here at Mauna Lani. And people simply call me the turtle guy.
The turtle guy is Pi'i Laeha. He's the caretaker of the turtles that reside in the resort's Malama Honu program, an education and conservation effort.
Turtle conservation for me is very important because it plays a pivotal role in many Aboriginal societies that they use the sea turtle as an icon.
The program started in 1989 to help Hawaii's endangered green sea turtles. Laeha receives hatchlings from Sea Life Park and raises them for 2 to 3 years in the resort's saltwater ponds.
Kind of a jumpstart program where their survivorship increases greatly.
Slowly. Every 4th of July, turtles that are big enough to survive in the wild are released. It's their Independence Day.
The important thing about releasing our turtles back is that's their home. So they're just with us for a short time, and their world is out in the ocean, not here.
Normally, hundreds of spectators watch the event.
It's pretty awesome.
But this year it will be closed to the public because of coronavirus concerns. Before they're set free, the turtles are given Hawaiian names.
Many people don't know that these Hawaiian names have great significance in our culture, not only their meanings, but sometimes named after some important people.
The Malama Honu program has raised and released 224 green sea turtles. Laeha, an avid waterman, says the ongoing effort goes beyond turtle conservation.
The real message is about caring for what we call our island world.
Jim Mendoza, Hawaii News Now.
Aw,
very cool.
Very cute. All right, got some news from the world of entertainment.
That's right. Jason Momoa news now. The actor is looking at a new role, and it's looking like his next career challenge will be Frosty the Snowman in a live-action movie. Now,
I don't see it. I do not see it.
It's a CGI role, so the local boy may not even have to work out for it. We don't know how much about the gig, but we do know that the director of the movie Elf will be overseeing the movie.
That's cool, because I was him, and you're always having to beef up for these roles, which I will never have to do. It would be nice to get the Frosty role.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
there you can be a little rounder.
And I'm sure cartoon movies are so much fun to work on, and you know, you can act in your pajamas.
Yeah,
That's
you can
awesome.
probably voice from home, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now on this Thursday. TGIF is tomorrow. We'll see you then.